if the same thing that when I see not all black Republicans, but I see a black MAGA person who is carrying Donald Trump's water.
Yes, I don't know. Don Lemon thought this was a good idea to say this on Bill Maher. They had a podcast recently. I think I did a video about that. Black people are trashing him on social media. It is important. I will share my thought. He sent this video out on Instagram.
So a lot of people are asking why I said what I said about a faction of the MAGA movement being racist. Okay, well, I'd like to give evidence, and that's a fair question. First of all, Bill Maher asked me about it on his podcast and gave me an example of an SNL skit where a MAGA person was refusing to shake a black person's hand. Okay, this was just months after a senator was being sworn in, and her husband refused to shake the black vice president's hand, even though he had done it before with white president, liberal president, Joe Biden. How about the MAGA movement refusing to acknowledge that there is a history of slavery and a legacy of slavery in this country that still has its vestiges and there is systemic racism? How about them leaning into the Great Replacement theory? Or how about them in 2016 throwing peanuts at a black person in the audience at a MAGA rally? How about Donald Trump not wanting to rent to black people in the 1970s and then being sued by the Justice Department? What about him calling for the death of the exonerated five? What about him calling African nations shithole countries? How about him and others referring to the black vice president of the United States as a DEI hire?
Yes, Don Lemon should be insane saying this. I don't know where the link became between DEI and black people. It is for everyone. There are DI hires that are white, so I don't get the point why this man, just struggle to change that definition. It is crazy. At a certain point, when I look at this, Don Lemon, sometimes he just want to go relevant on social media again. He knows the truth, but he can't accept that.
So Don Lemon had gone onto the Bill Maher show, and then I didn't really see all of the whole entire interview. But here's what I've actually gotten out of that interview. So what he was trying to say is just like he doesn't understand, or he does not, he can't comprehend when he sees a black person who turned from Democrat to Republican. He can't really understand why they would even side for a person who was MAGA, and I find this very disgusting in several ways, because one is like when a black person says like, oh, you talk like them, or you're siding with them, or why are you siding white, or why not siding black, it's like it's an insult to our own race when you think about it, because like we don't walk the same path in life, my brother. Just because one person or one black man who was raised in the hood, who grew up around the hood, it does not mean every single black person is going to be thinking and talking the same. Because like, okay, my parents, they were born in Camden, New Jersey. Well, like one of the worst places you can actually be raise a child in the United States. And we moved from there to Alabama when I was like 3 or 4 years old. And my lifestyle is not the same as my cousins who are currently still live up there. We don't talk the same. We don't think the same. We don't act the same because the way we were raised in. Just because we wear the same skin, it does not mean we'll be like thinking and talking the exact same. It doesn't work like that. So I find it very disingenuous, very disgusting when I hear another black person trying to say that, oh, we can't be black because we aren't thinking the same thing. Oh, we are not black because we are talking white, aka we are talking intelligently. So again, it doesn't really have to be about politics. It's just all about being a black person in general. It's like when you start using those kinds of words and terms to try to discriminate or try to discredit us. I mean us as the black person who actually, goes above and beyond the regular culture of a black person in America. It does not mean that we are not black. We are different. We are going to be walking differently. We can be talking differently. And I just found it very disgusting.
It's the same thing that when I see not all black Republicans, but I see a black MAGA person who is carrying Donald Trump's water and they know that he's lying, it is the shortest line to the front. Because if you're black and you're whatever, you're just in line with a bunch of other Democrats that are doing the same thing that you're doing. But if you become a black MAGA person, it's like, whoa, let's book this person, let's put him on television.
So you don't think you can be a sincere black MAGA person?
No, I just said, I don't think that, I just said, I think there can be sincere Republicans.
But you can't be a sincere black Republican?
I don't think that you can be a rational MAGA, be black and be a rational MAGA person. I think you can be black and be a Republican.
I think they would find that very insulting.
Well, I mean, the truth is often insulting.
Corporations now that have dropped DEI. Now, in the government, they did it because he ordered...
Backlash for what?
For too much DEI.
I don't think those people understand what DEI is. DEI is not the hiring of black people who are not qualified or
it can
people
be.
Who are... No. That's not what it's about.
It can have that result.
Yes, Bill Maher destroyed this guy. I don't know how Bill Maher could actually even hold on to this interview for 2 hours. I was shocked. When you take a look at Don Lemon these days, he is crazy. I've watched him now for some time. It is like he is just chasing cloud every single day. Oh, MAGA that, MAGA this.
They did one thing, they did a sketch where Tom Hanks puts on a MAGA hat, so he's a Trumper, and then Keenan comes over to shake his hand, and he won't shake his hand.
Yeah.
And I said this on Fareed's show the other day. I found that that's so old. I didn't vote for him. I get all the bad things about that administration, but if you think they don't shake black people's hands, it's just you're wrong. That's not who they are. Matt Gaetz shakes black people's hands. Kid Rock will shake your hand. It's just not helpful to think that half the country that's where they are. That's your
still you're a comedian. It's part of its comedy.
I understand.
But let's be honest. There's a huge faction of the MAGA movement that's really being racist.
I wouldn't say huge. No, I'd say partly.
I would say huge.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have different perspectives.
I would say huge, and even if they're not, you have to overlook a lot of that in order to support Donald Trump, which I think is maybe even more egregious than just saying I'm a racist.
So what do you think is the worst? I mean, to me, the back in, was it 89 with the Central Park 5?
Yeah.
That was, to me, like the most egregious thing because it just seems so and then, of course, the Obama birth certificate, which...
You mean with Donald Trump?
With Trump.
What's the most egregious?
Yeah, I mean, he sued me, Trump did.
For the orangutan thing?
Yes, because I was making fun of that because I thought that was very racist. But also, he seemed to be there was something very animating about his just laser-focused drive about the Central Park 5 thing. That seemed to, you could feel the racism in there.
What was the payoff? Why was he there?
Yes, I have not seen a single case where a MAGA supporter is refusing to shake a black person's hand. I've not seen that. These people sitting for 2 hours and Don Lemon stirring up a discussion leading to race is something I knew it would come. That is what he's fond of. It is crazy. Oh, this is happening to you, happening to me because I'm a black, this guy. I've watched him sometimes say this, but it's ridiculous to continue to do that. Not everything around you revolves around race. It is insane.
Wasn't running for office.
It was,
What was it?
right.
Yeah.
It just seemed like it just there's something in him, and of course we know his father was a virulent racist.
Yeah.
You know, and he grew up in a different time, and he's almost 80. And yes, I understand that element to it, but you know, to ascribe to all the people who voted for him, which is a majority of the country.
I didn't say all the people.
Yeah, I understand.
It's not a majority. It's plurality.
Or whatever it is, he won.
Yeah.
It's at least half the country. I mean, to ascribe his worst traits to all of them.
I don't think it's half the country, but go on.
Well,
what
ascribe
is
his
worst
what
traits
is
to whatever?
How do you win an election?
Well,
and the popular
first it's the
vote.
electorate. Not everybody votes, and I don't think I think most of the people in America don't vote, and I don't think it's half the country. So what I'm saying is, I don't think half the country is racist, and I don't think all of MAGA is racist. But I do think that there's a huge element in the MAGA party that is racist, whether they are conscious of it or not. Some of them are not, and if they are not, they have had to overlook a lot of racism and a lot of bigotry. And if you do that and you say, I'm okay with this, I think that makes you worse than someone who just says, hey, I'm a racist, and they tell you.
But some of it is just a backlash to what they think was going too far, like all these corporations now that have dropped DEI. Now, in the government, they did it because he ordered...
Backlash for what?
For too much DEI.
I don't think those people understand what DEI is. DEI is not the hiring of black people who are not qualified or
it can
people
be.
who are... No. That's not what it's about. And
I don't know about that.
Okay, so then what is your evidence? There's no evidence that there is that result. If you can show me the evidence, then okay. Then I will agree with you.
Well, I'm not going to name any names.
Okay, but diversity, equity, inclusion, first of all, is not. Maybe they're talking about affirmative action, which is a whole different thing, which is about making sure you hired, a certain number of people that are this, that, and that. But diversity, equity, and inclusion is about making sure that the pool of candidates is larger. So if you are fishing, rather than fishing in a swimming pool, maybe you're in a pond. Rather than fishing in a pond, you're in a lake, or maybe in a lake instead of a river, or in a river, you're in the ocean. So you're just trying to find different people, and you're trying to increase the number of options of qualified people that you can hire. It's not about hiring people who are not qualified.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
And who are just black. The biggest recipient of DEI is white women, and also veterans, because of veterans, and also people who are disabled people. It's just about making sure that disabled people have a ramp somewhere at work so that they get to work.
Understood,
and they can,
but
whatever.
Equity is the word, not equality. That it was a change that people noticed. Equality was everybody gets an equal shot. Equity is like, no, it's basically quotas. Equity is it's
quotas. I don't think that America's never been about everybody getting an equal shot.
No, it certainly hasn't been. No one's contesting that.
No.
But that's what the idea, the old school liberal idea was, we need to strive for equality. That changed to equity. This is what some people are against, and reasonable people can disagree on it without being racist. Having said that, there are of course racists in this country. There always will be, just like there will always be criminals.
I agree, but I think the people who are disagreeing about it, they need to understand exactly what it is. I think people who disagree may not understand what it is. Now, I have an issue with DEI because I think when you make it a religion, it's not, then you end up with the Al Franken.
I always say this. If you're in a country and you don't see things working out for you, move to another place. Yeah, if you're in America, things are not going the way you want, move to another country. That's simple. Don Lemon struggling to disagree with Bill Maher, hearing the truth, it's something that I don't get it. And it will always be like that. They know the truth, but they will not accept that. Giving everybody equal shot, that has always been this people's idea. It should not be that way. Merit should be the topic of discussions, should be the topper positions when you are giving out positions to people. Select the brilliant ones. Not about, oh, you belong to this class, or...
Approaching 2 months in. I mean, you must have a feeling in your gut, look me in the eye and tell me you don't, that this is really going badly and I shouldn't have thrown my lot in with this team.
Conservatism, foreign.
Seeing all of this insanity lately.